I was going to talk about the economy, but before I do that, a couple of things have come up that I want to just comment on. First of all, the reference was made to the importance of immigrants in our society. My family actually was one of the original settlers of Chicago. My great-great-grandfather came here from Ireland in 1835, 2 years before the city was incorporated, when the population was 4,000, to work on digging the Illinois-Michigan Canal. And his son, a first generation, the son of an immigrant, got into politics, ran actually for the General Assembly, and then was elected alderman. And no matter what Alderman Burke might tell you, he has served longer in the Illinois, in the city council than any other alderman, okay? Alderman Burke may be continuously the longest, but Alderman Cullerton was there the longest, okay? And when he died in 1920, 20th Street is where he lived. He lived at 1632 20th Street. So the city council renamed Cullerton Street after him. So, I'm very proud of my family. We've been around for a long time. And I just want to say to Alderman Danny Solis that when I drive down Ashland Avenue, sometimes I do this on my way to Springfield, and I look up and I see Cullerton Street, I'm very proud. I don't want to look up one day and see that it's been renamed to Solis or just because it's Bilson doesn't mean. So,
we'll protect you.
I just want to mention it. I still am the president of the Senate, and we have some. The second thing that's very important, I was talking to Alderman Gutierrez about redistricting earlier. Congressman Gutierrez about redistricting. Now, why he would want to talk about redistricting, I don't know, but we were talking about redistricting. And this is the census. This is very, very important. About 3 weeks ago, they came out with a preliminary count for the population for the state of Illinois. And preliminarily, it looks like we are going to lose a congressman. We're going to go from 19 down to 18, okay? But it's still preliminary and it's very close. Now, there has been an historic undercount in the Hispanic community when they do these censuses every 10 years. And it's very critical. It's very important, obviously, for the Hispanic community, because it may be that there'll be an extra state Senate seat, or two extra state representative seats, or an extra congressional seat. But it's also important for the state of Illinois not to lose a congressman. And so it's not just about Democrats or Republicans. I think everybody together should remember how important this is. So it's very, very important for this organization throughout the whole community. If we think there's only a little over 1.5 million Hispanics in Chicago, what if there's or in Illinois, what if there's 2 million? Let's make sure everybody is counted. So that's very, very important. And also I want to just tell you how much I enjoy working with my Hispanic caucus in Springfield. Tony Munoz, Iris Martinez, Willie Delgado, Marty Sandoval. First of all, they're more fun than anybody, these guys. They're more fun. And they're a lot of work. Sometimes they break down into 4 separate caucuses. Sometimes. But when the issues that confront the Hispanics come to the front, they unite. And they do a tremendous job in Springfield in working for them. So let's just talk briefly about the economy. The jobless rate, over 11% in Illinois. It's actually higher for Latino workers, 13%. And unemployment has an unbelievable demand on social services as well. So it actually costs more for government to function when there's these crises. And foreclosures are up, and people don't get their health care. They lose their health care when they lose their jobs. Over 500,000 Latinos have no health care coverage. So it's all about jobs. You heard that from the governor and the mayor, and that's what our cause is going to be. So we heard briefly about the capital bill that we passed in Springfield. But let me just put this in perspective. I was just recently at a national conference where there was a presentation by the NCSL, National Council of State Governments. And they talked about what's going on throughout the entire state. Okay? This was amazing. I didn't know this. They gave me this report I was singled out. They said, we have a question. The state economic stimulus plans throughout the entire United States last year, all the states collectively, the state economic stimulus plans totaled $39 billion. Okay? They said 31 billion of it came from Illinois. Our capital bill was the only major capital bill passed throughout the entire United States. Okay? You may not have read that in either one of the two bankrupt newspapers because they've been not covering, positive news. This is positive news, ladies and gentlemen. This is positive news. And the government said over 400,000 jobs. This is a 3-year program. We're going to deliver it over 3 years. We had to vote to raise some taxes and fees to pay for it. We got consensus among the Republicans and the Democrats. It was a statewide program. We had to decide where this money is going to be spent in a fair way, upstate, downstate, mass transit, roads, schools. And it's going to be and I'll tell you another thing. The Secretary of Transportation, Gary Hanning, has told me that starting in the spring, we're going to have full employment on road construction projects throughout the state of Illinois. Many Hispanic businesses have come to me and said, we want to make sure we get our fair share of the work. If it's true, and I believe him, this is going to be, everybody's going to be working. Everybody. So that's a very good news for the Hispanic community. Now, it's not just roads. We talked about the number of children, Hispanic children, 20% of the schools, as Jesse Ruiz said, but 25% are under 5 years old. So we have early childhood investments in this capital bill. $45 million for a grant program for construction of early childhood facilities. K through 12. 1 in 5 students, of course, total are Hispanic, but what about our schools? We have actually increased funding, even in these tough times, for our educational facilities. The Latino charter schools, this was a major, major success. So $100 million for UNO, $12 million for Aspira, $24 million for Instituto del Progreso Latino. Okay? There has been a tremendous increase in this recession in young people going to community colleges. There's been a tremendous increase. And so recognizing that, in the capital bill, we have more money for Truman College, Robert White College, and Morton College. That's also in the bill. This is going to have a tremendous impact on the 39,000 businesses in Illinois that are Latino-owned. This number has obviously been growing dramatically. So we will have $15 billion for grants directly to businesses. It's all about getting people back to work. That's what people care about. So the construction industry has been bolstered by this bill. But we want to do more for all industries, all other industries as well. So we're going to work this year with the Republicans. We have a much more cooperative mood in Springfield than we have seen in Congress. So we're going to invest in small businesses. We're going to look to see if we can get targeted tax incentives, work with the community colleges for retraining and new skills, and build upon our economic strengths. So I'm looking forward to going back to Springfield. It's a very, very tough time. It's the worst recession in my lifetime. It's not just in Illinois. I learned at this meeting, it's throughout the entire state of Illinois. The states have been devastated by a reduction in income. We have not been overspending. We actually cut our state budget. Nobody knows about this. We cut our state budget by $2.3 billion because people say before you raise our taxes, you better make sure you make the cuts. But at some point in time, folks, we are just absolutely broke. We don't pay our bills on time. Small businesses are going out of business because they're not getting paid the money that the state owes them. So we have to have a real tough decisions must be made. We have to work with both parties, and we need your support as well. But believe me, I start to see the positive things are going to start happening in the spring. I believe that by the end of the year, things will be looking much better. I thank you very much for inviting us.